Hello, my name is Laura Diana Siriani, and my student number is 210112373, and this is my video presentation for Stories in Diverse Media with Dr. Stephen Gennaro. So I'd like to start off with expressing my reaction to both the reading Capital Ray Kroc at McDonald's and the film Super Size Me. Let's start with the reading. I found myself very rarely disagreeing or criticizing the work of Kinchlow, as he continually proved how McDonald's has become a symbol of America, or rather, America itself, and his extreme disappointment and discomfort that it has become a comfort tool for children. I would have to agree with that myself. Working at a school, I see it all the time. As he described the situation in the doctor's office with the screaming boy whose mother calmed him down by promising him McDonald's after his appointment, which is found on page 175 of the course kit, I couldn't help but recognize how many times I have heard of or actually been in a similar situation where the simple thought of McDonald's has the power to do what nothing else can. As I mentioned, I do work at a school, and I can't tell you the countless amount of times is when a parent brings McDonald's in for lunch. That kid is the most popular kid in the class all day long, and everyone wants to be, his or her friend just to get a French fry, for that matter. It's a little bit scary. What I feel needs to be said about the reading, however, is that despite Ray Kroc's negative influence and downright ignorance of the health of society, he must be credited for being able to launch a business, actually a corporation, as large as this one. In fact, on page 182 of the course kit, it's written that when a recruit graduates from basic training, which is Hamburger University, he believes that he can conquer anybody. Motivated by an econo-tribal allegiance to the McFamily, store operators expressed faith in McDonald's as if it were a religion. Kroc openly spoke of the Holy Trinity. For him, it was McDonald's, family, and God in that order. Released from boot camp on a Jihad for Success theology, Ronald and Ray facilitated thousands of independent restaurant owners out of business. Competing fast food franchises tell of their introduction to recent Hamburger University graduates and other McDonald's managers with amazement, saying, "We will run you out of business and bury you." Sorry. Now, this isn't to say that all of Kroc's ways were correct and just, but this is to show, however, the confidence of those that work with McDonald's or at McDonald's, participate themselves with McDonald's, and promote the corporation itself. This shows the confidence that they have, which maybe some other businesses lack. Kroc took his business very seriously, to say the least. Excuse me. And if all businesses took this much pride and paid this much attention and run their businesses this way, maybe they would be as successful or as powerful as this company is. Just a thought. Now, here are my thoughts on the film. They're a little bit interesting. I must say that I was quite surprised with my initial reaction to the film Super Size Me by Morgan Spurlock. I have to admit that I have never seen this film before on purpose. I can be charged guilty with indulging in fast food myself, not on a daily basis, but definitely at least once or twice a month, and even more frequently in my younger years, most of those times being a McDonald's indulgence, I have to admit. Not to mention in high school when a McDonald's opened up right down the street from where I live, and about 15 of my friends at the time got jobs there. I would have to say that we ate there daily, or even multiple times a day to be honest, and received even more in our big golden arched bag than we ordered, since our friends were working there. I shudder now to think of what I was doing to my body as I would pile on my 3 extra packs of salt on top of the already salted fries, and then dunk those fries into Big Mac, and that was like my signature for 4 years in high school, and I must admit, still is, it's a little bit gross. And that was just along with my meal, not as a meal itself, just along with the size of my meal. I never thought it was good for me. Actually, I was well aware that it was the complete opposite. Yet I never hesitated to fulfilling that craving, and nor do I even really think twice if I have a craving now to fulfill it with McDonald's. It's not even an option. I go straight there and it's a done deal. Which is why I was surprised to my reaction to the film. I knew why I never watched it before, which is I didn't want the film to ruin the joy that I felt every time I bit into a big juicy Big Mac. Yet, had I known what my reaction was going to be, I probably would have watched it a lot sooner, maybe even upon its release. So a couple weeks ago I called my fiance, rented the film, and forced him to sit down and watch it with me. And after a few oohs and ahs, and a couple of eye covers and scrunches of the face, um, from being grossed out, that is, at the end of the film we turned to each other and said the exact same thing: let's go get a Big Mac. And we did. Unfortunately, I have to admit that. I'm embarrassed to even admit that, now that it's caught on film, but it is the honest truth. We've both been trying to eat really healthy and work out for our upcoming wedding, and even the thought of the film, even though the film was meant to represent all the grotesque things that would happen to your body and to your health of eating McDonald's, and the negative impact on health and lifestyle that McDonald's causes, regardless of all the disgusting things revealed, said, understood, and acknowledged in the film, we were able to push all that aside, dismiss it all, and were able to push all the negative stuff right out of our minds. And doing that, we were left with one thing: the desire for the very thing that we should have been appalled by, the Big Mac. How's that for selected memory? Now, I would be a little bit more embarrassed by admitting this if it wasn't something that was happening on a daily basis. You see, for the most part, none of the information revealed in the film was new, really shocking, or even outrageous for that matter. This is all information that is common knowledge. McDonald's food is one of the worst things for you, but yet we as human beings choose to ignore that fact and indulge in our guilty pleasure of eating it every time. Why? It's like one of the world's mysteries. We don't know why. We have no clue, but we keep going back. Perhaps it's because we're a stubborn race that finds the need to defy limitations or boundaries to our diet. But even at the risk of our own health? I don't know. It's crazy to try to understand, but the only thing that I can possibly compare an experience like this to can be smoking. You see, for years, smoking has been reported as being one of the #1 killers in today's society. Everyone knows it's bad for you. There aren't any benefits for doing it except for satisfying just a part-time craving, and yet the sales keep going higher and higher. For example, let's take a look at what's commonly known to be in cigarettes. Just a little look. Just in case you can't see, it does say there's butane, which is lighter fluid, cadmium, which is in batteries, acid that's found in wax, barbecue lighter fluid, industrial solvent, insecticide, toilet cleaner, paint fume, well, the same things that are used in paint, rocket fuel, carbon monoxide, arsenic, which is poison, methane, sewer gas, arsenic acid, which is vinegar. All of these things are found. Now, all of these harmful, disgusting components are found in a cigarette, and yet we as a society still choose to smoke. Much to the same tune, we are educated enough and informed enough to know the reality of today's society when it comes to obesity and its relation to McDonald's restaurants. I mean, it's common knowledge. For example, some facts directly extracted from the film itself I have right here. Each day, 1 in 4 Americans visits a fast food restaurant. In 1972, we spent $3 billion a year on fast food. Today, we spend more than $110 billion. So from $3 billion a year, we went to $110 billion. McDonald's feeds more than 46 million people a day, more than the entire population of Spain. You would have to walk, this part got to me, you would have to walk for 7 hours straight just to burn off a supersized Coke, fry, and Big Mac. 7 hours straight. 60% of all Americans are either overweight or obese. 40% of those American meals are eaten outside of the home, and McDonald's represents 43% of total U.S. fast food market. Once again, 60% of all Americans are either overweight or obese. 40% of those Americans are eating their meals outside of the home, and out of those 40% of Americans that are eating their meals outside of the home, McDonald's represents 43% of those fast food restaurants that they're attending to. Before most children can speak, they can recognize McDonald's, which is unfortunate to say, but completely true. For a perfect example, my niece. She's 2, just turned 2. She can't really say many words, but one of the words she does know are French fries, and she knows those golden arches. And a McDonald's representative, the last direct quote from the movie, has been quoted to say that any processing our food undergoes makes them more dangerous than unprocessed food. Scary, shocking. All of this knowledge, and yet we don't have the power to say no. Wait a minute. Is it knowledge supposed to be power? How does that work? The sad concluding truth to all of this is that no matter how we put it, the true power is in the choices made by the people, society, people like you and me. Because what good is any knowledge if the choice to extract from it what we want, ignore the rest, and enjoy it just the same as if we knew nothing bad of it at all, is made? What good of making that choice is it? I guess that's all I can say for now. Unfortunately, the choice is ours to be putting these people ahead or making them go under. Clearly, we're choosing to ask for supersize me, so thank you for listening, and remember, the choice is yours.